Hello everyone, welcome back to the poor man's version of the podcast. This is podcast number 5 and I'm your host John S, and with me I'm joined by Ericyo.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about a lot of things, but I'm gonna start with a little bit different. Because I've been playing games. Let me tell you, they're really I hear a lot of things people say about games nowadays. They're saying that they're just too long. They're like they take too long because they're just artificially longer, just so they make it last so you can just play more and more.
Yeah, people are whiny about it. I don't think they are.
Well, I'm trying to go with something here. Well, I'm actually trying to say that there's a similar thing happening in the past with games.
Mm-hmm.
They were artificially harder.
Mm-hmm.
So because the games couldn't hold as much memory as games can nowadays, they were harder just to make the games last longer, and so they can make you think you got more value for your money.
Right.
So that's what I'm starting to kind of find out nowadays, since I've actually been playing a lot of NES games from the Virtual Console.
Mm-hmm.
So this week I've been playing Ninja Gaiden.
Ooh.
To be
Okay.
specific, Ninja Gaiden 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an annoying game. It's fun though. This is actually the first Ninja Gaiden game I've been playing, so it was interesting to start with number 2. People told me the first one was really hard, so I just moved to number 2, which is apparently easier, but there's still some annoyances in this game.
I'm sure.
I mean, this burst that spawn out of nowhere, like spawning enemies is one of the big problems this game has. Like, you moved off the screen just a little bit and boom, there's the enemy once again. And there's like jumping walls side to side. It's also annoying. Like, you can't just climb up a wall either. You have to barely jump just to climb that wall.
Jeez.
Little stuff like that. It's annoying. I mean, again, it's fun. The bosses, like a lot of things like that.
Well, you said it best. I mean, with like Ninja Gaiden 2, for example, I think I remember playing that once when I was younger. But back then, just like you said, you felt like you got your money's worth just because it was so hard and you would put so much time into these games. And now these days, games seem longer, but I like it because I wish games were harder like they were back in the day, like Ninja Gaiden 2. I haven't played that game since, like I said, since I was younger. But what do you think of it so hard? So so far, you think it's just hard, or what else do you think about it?
I think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's great either.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the way games were back in the day, they were, again, harder just because they wanted to make them last. So that's what I can see in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that, honestly.
Right.
It's everything to explain. I mean, they're trying to give you a barrage of enemies, because I know it's going to get harder as I go on. I haven't finished it yet. It's gonna be my game of the week, so.
Oh, cool. Anything else that you're playing?
Yeah, I'm playing this one game. This actually going way ahead in time. This game called Pony Island, which came out this year. Mm-hmm. It's a weird game. I saw a lot of YouTubers kind of playing it. I didn't even watch the videos. I just saw them playing it. I really don't want to explain a lot because it's a game that people have to experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Let's just say it has something to do with all. Damn it! No, that would be saying too much.
So it's hard to explain it without spoiling too much of it at the same time. I hear you. It's just like when I asked you not to tell me much about Undertale too. So, but me and you have been playing a game recently too, which is Final Fantasy Explorers. We've been playing that a lot lately.
Yeah, I'll let you handle that. Go ahead.
So yeah, I've so far, like I said, I haven't played, to be honest with you, since our last play session that we had. But aside from that, every once in a while I'll play just because I want to get a certain outfit or a certain weapon upgrade or whatever the case is. As you asked me the other day, just just to get Sephiroth's clothes, I had to beat Shiva 10 times so I can get the keys and come up with the clothing. But I think what the most surprising one the quest that we did was that last one, not the last one, excuse me, the one before that, where you just decided to choose the one with the, I think, 10 dragons. And oh my god, that was the most intense one that I had so far. But yeah, I think I'm a little bit ahead of you right now, not by too much, but I did go ahead and play a little bit more to where I'm once again ahead of you. But maybe we'll have another play session after this, or maybe tomorrow morning. But yeah, the game so far so good. I still like it. It's been great. What do you think of it so far?
Well, there's the thing about this game. I'm enjoying it mostly because I have someone to play with. If
Right.
I would play it on my own, I would probably never finish it.
I think if we played it on our own, oh well, like I said, I play every once in a while on my own, but I think it would become too repetitive. Eventually, it would get boring, and you just put it aside and forget about it.
Uh,
But this way, with someone else to play with, I haven't been able to put it down that much lately.
well, I instantly notice a lot of things that may seem like wrong with the game. Like the environments themselves are a bit samey looking. Like you may go through certain area and then you arrive to this beach area, and then you go through that a bit longer, and then you arrive to this other area which looks exactly the same as that past area. And there's also the fact that there's really nothing in the environment that it's very interesting looking. It's just a bunch of giant rectangles.
Yeah, I agree with you. The environment starts to get repetitive. It's to the point where you're just like, oh, I have to go through this part all over again. I mean, the good part of it, as you've already discovered, is the airship. It takes you wherever you want.
Yeah.
But even then, with the airship, it still kind of gets repetitive. You end up in one spot and you have to go through the whole spot all over again just to go ahead and fight a certain monster again. I mean, eventually we're going to get to the point where there's just no more land to explore.
Yeah. There's also the thing that this game has slowdown issues. There's occasionally when you're fighting a boss, when the action gets way too messy, like it just slows down to a crawl, and it's pretty funny. As you mentioned before, when we were fighting the dragons, the game just slowed down. Like I thought that my game was going to crash.
Yeah, I did notice that the frame rate just got incredibly crazy slow during that portion. And I don't know if that had to do anything with, maybe I should test this out, but I haven't had it, obviously me and you both played it, so I wonder if it had anything to do with us playing online, because eventually it was to the point where I saw you just slashing and hacking at the wind, and the dragon was like directly behind you, I mean a little bit behind you, but you were slashing at the wind. But it just led me to believe that you were actually hitting the dragon in your game and versus my game, and this just wasn't corresponding with each other correctly. But I haven't tried it. I haven't tried that quest on my own, so it would be interesting to see if that frame rate issue still occurs even when you're playing by yourself, or if it was just an online issue.
I'm sure it's the game as well, since it's each one of our games is handling it. All it's doing is showing our models. Like you're showing your model on my game. It's transmitting the data, but like the game itself is the one that's dealing with that. I'm sure if you play it on your own, the data from the dragons is going to get really crazy. So
I should give it a shot. Let's see what happens. But yeah, that's logical, and that explains it too.
Yeah. So well, what else have you been playing? Is that the only thing?
That's the only thing that I've been playing so far. Yeah. Aside from my mobile game, but the only mobile game that I've been playing so far is Clash of Clans. But aside from that, really, I haven't been playing much anything else. Have you been playing anything else?
Not really. If anything, I've been playing a lot of Smash.
Smash still?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't really stop playing that game. It's just something that I need to keep playing. Again, as I told you before, I'm trying to get a little bit more competitive with that game. I haven't started playing Melee again, and I finally found a new main, so...
Oh, cool. The one game that I'm probably gonna start playing here soon. I don't know when, but I'm really looking at playing or starting to play Shovel Knight. It's been a long time, and I don't. A lot of people play it and they love the game. So, yeah, I that's a game that I might be swinging over here too soon.
So, what are you gonna play? What version are you playing?
That is the good question. I don't know what version I want to get yet. Um, I want to get the 3DS version because it's mobile, obviously. But then again, I want to get the Wii U version because if you do the amiibo and if I have a like let's say my brother come over, I can play co-op with him with the amiibo. So it's I don't know. I don't know which one I want yet. Which one would you recommend? Have you played it first of all?
Yeah, I have it on my 3DS.
And what do you think of it?
Well, I like it. If anything, the only difference, as you said, it's portable and it's in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
The 3D.
See,
Oh, sorry, what?
I'm sorry. I was going to say the 3D part really doesn't get to me. I really don't care about the 3D to be honest with you. It's more of the whole, whether it's worth it. What does the amiibo do for the 3DS version? Maybe I should ask that.
It does basically the same, except that it only unlocks the new challenges. And there's also another thing that it does that it gets you a more powerful character, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
Though I haven't really played around with it since I only had the original 3DS.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know yet. I might end up getting the 3D version or the Wii U version, but I know one of the versions will happen.
Alright. So you probably should get the Wii U version if you really want to play with your brother.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what I might do, but getting my brother to come over is another story. So
Oops.
with that with that being said, I might just end up with the 3DS version.
Oh. Alright. So, we're gonna go move to the news. There's a bit of news. There really isn't much after last week's, rumor, like, just rumors.
Rumors.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna start a little something that may be small or maybe big. I don't know. So there's a new Pokemon that was revealed via Koro as usual by a leak or not. I don't know anymore. Koro seems to have a really weird thing where it leaks at absolutely everything in existence.
Right.
I really don't know much about the Pokemon itself. I don't think it's really been translated, but it looks like Steel type. Its head is like gears,
Right.
and it looks like kind of a mate.
Right.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
His...
I have, yeah, and I agree with you. I think because its body or its head is like you said, like a gear, and then the rest of the body looks steel. And just like you said, I really think it's gonna be a steel fairy type. But I mean, how is this game gonna be incorporated? Because if you remember, the game had been already the hackers already found all these other Pokemon programmed into the game. So do you think this is gonna come to any of the games that are out there right now? And if so, how? DLC?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be new data, just downloadable data. It doesn't have to be included in the program itself, does it?
I don't know, because it could. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, I guess. But what was the name of this Pokemon?
Magiana.
Okay, Magiana.
Then again, this is the Japanese name, so I don't know.
And the only other thing that I remember is that it was its classification is man-made Pokemon. So I wonder what that means. Is it just like you said, is it a robot, robot fairy metal steel type? But yeah, I just know that it's got a metallic body, as the text confirmed, and it was made over 500 years ago. But that's the only thing that is that's out there about it.
It reminds me of Judy from the Jetsons.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it. But yes, that does make sense.
Honestly, we don't have a lot of information about it. I don't think anyone really does, other than really Game Freak. There's been a lot of rumors saying that, oh boy, here we go. So there's been a lot of rumors saying that this is gonna be for the new Pokemon version, though I don't really know. That's if they actually reveal the game early.
Right.
What do you think? Do you think they're gonna release it now, or
I think they're gonna wait a little while on it. I just don't know how long, but eventually they will. Given that it's the 20th anniversary, there's a lot of stuff going on with Pokemon right now, as me and you both know.
Yeah.
Just to throw a little bit more Pokemon news out there. I know that to celebrate the opening of the Pokemon Center online service in Japan, I know that they're releasing a special Pikachu that's distributed via serial code, and also they started a Splatoon. What do you call it? A Splatfest.
Mm-hmm.
So they're letting you choose between red and green in Japan, and then it's red and blue here in North America.
Oh,
and Europe.
so we're actually getting it here.
Yeah, we are. We're getting the blue and red version to choose from here, and then in Japan, obviously red and green. But also, one other thing that they're doing is that they're releasing 3 new costumes for Super Mario Maker. So they're releasing Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur as well.
Is it 3 separate customs or they're all together?
3 separate costumes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's another cool thing that they're releasing, and the costumes include obviously special sound effects, which I'm sure it's going to more than likely be the sprite sounds that they would make in the old versions.
Oh no! Oh no! Wait.
What's that?
Game Freak allowing them to use the sound effects? Oh man!
Isn't that crazy? But yeah, it's they're allowing it from what I read here. The costumes include special sound effects for the Pokemon, so that's pretty cool.
They gone soft on us. Game Freak.
They're going soft on everybody now. They're ever since Pokemon Go, now they're letting everybody use their franchise somehow.
They better. I'm still pissed off that the Pokemon in Mario Maker don't have the sound effects. Like, they have the most generic sounds ever. So like, you know what? Good.
You're right, because I remember when I would use like Charizard in there, it just make a random weird no.
Just make like
noise.
A boing sound.
Yeah, it's like just boing, and I'm like, what the heck was that? But yeah, that's the news that I got for Pokemon there.
There's a lot of news like that. Just little tiny bits. I've been hearing stuff like that as well. I think the last one I heard was about the Nentoroids. They're actually going to be released this July. So.
Oh right. I heard about that one.
So
too.
you better pre-order now, because if you don't, you're going to get them for over $100.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Don't go to place yet. Trust me. In any case, we can move on to the next bit of news, which is not Pokemon related, but it's a bit of strange news. If I had to be honest, that Sega confirmed that it's going to be a Sonic movie, but not just a Sonic movie. Sonic animated / live action hybrid thingy, and it's going to come out 2018. So what do you think of this?
I think it's a very scary idea.
I don't know.
I don't know yet, but I mean I can't judge it until I actually see it. But it sounds scary. It just scares me when the Sonic creators want to go ahead and create something like this. It's weird.
Well, to be fair, the creators of Sonic are already gone. Yuji Naka already moved on to something completely different. He created a game called Sky and the Rodeo Soldier, something like that. By the way, this game came out on Wii U.
Did it?
Yep, it came out pretty much without any sort of fanfare. I actually saw it on GameStop, but I never really bought it.
Right.
So you probably see it if you look around. In any case,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out. I didn't know that.
Buy the Wii version. Oh no, actually, this game comes with the Wii and the Wii U version. Play the Wii version.
The Wii version.
Yes.
Okay.
It comes with both versions.
Cool.
In any case, this is just a really strange thing, but
it is.
But they're saying that they want to expand and they want to do different things. They're doing the Nintendo thing. Just hope they do it good.
Exactly.
Oh man, I just don't know what to expect of this though.
Yeah, neither do I. It's going to be very interesting though.
Then again, I don't think they can go down any further.
That's a good way of putting it.
They already drowned Sonic a long time ago. So, next bit of news, which may be good or bad depending who you are. Smash Bros. Sakurai. That guy who made the series in the first place, he is finally taking a break. And he announced that there's not gonna be any more patches for Smash Bros. So Corrin is going to stay just as ridiculous as he was when he released. Now and forever, for all eternity.
It's over, guys. Just quit now.
Corrin's going to be banned forever now. Good job, Good job, Sakurai. You did this to us.
Damn you, Sakurai.
So yeah, it's kind of a sad thing. I actually expected them to keep getting updates for the game. Because I've been telling you about it, but Corrin is just ridiculous. Everything that Corrin does kills. To the point that I've been able to use the character while being a complete noob and beat people who have had characters who are much better. So if I can do that, I'm pretty sure that it really shows how broken this character is.
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
So you're going for glory. You see a lot of Corins. You know why.
That's why.
But what are you gonna say about this, Eric? Like, Sakurai's finally taking a break. He's finally doesn't have to do Smash anymore.
Well, my honest opinion is that he deserves it. I mean, we all know how hard he's worked on this game, and to come up with, you know, Smash Ants on the Wii U and also the 3DS, he's worked hard, man. I understand, you know, if he needs a break, maybe in the future he'll realize, you know, shoot, well, Corin is a little OP, so let's go ahead and release a quick update real quick. But I mean, it's still possible, I would think. It's just I don't expect any, you know, any new DLC, obviously. As he stated, there's no new DLC or characters coming anytime soon.
Yeah, I heard that before, but I don't know. Knowing this guy, he lies a lot. I don't know.
He does. All of a sudden, it's just like, just kidding, here I am. He's a new character.
I have trust issues with that guy.
as everybody else does.
So I don't know what to think. But you know, we can only hope that Corin's no longer dumb.
Yep, we'll see what happens.
Yep. So the next bit of news, which may be quite a bit sad, that's the game trailers. Well, the site shut down.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I am a little saddened by it because I did watch a lot of game trailers from them. I mean, as the name states, they had a lot of game trailers, right? But I'm sorry?
Oh, sorry. I figured that's what they originally started. Again, I'm not a huge fan of it. If anything, the only thing I watched were their top 10s and Pop Fiction, which has been dead for a while now, so...
Yes, and I think that they could have lasted a lot longer if they would have continued their, like you said, their top 10 and Pop Fiction series, because I was really, really, really into their Pop Fiction series. I loved it. And I every once in a while, to be honest with you, I'll still go back and rewatch them, or now that the site shut down, I'm sure I can't do that anymore, but I would go ahead and watch a lot of their Pop Fiction because it was very, very cool to see some games that I didn't know about that you could do. Like, as an example, being able to play as Master Hand in one of the Super Smash Brothers game. I didn't know that until I watched the Pop Fiction. But, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that they had, and it's sad to see them go.
Well, again, I think what happened was that it was because of its owners. Apparently, they were really owned by... I don't think it was Viacom? I'm not sure who owned them.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that they were bought around 2 years ago by Defy Media,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm guessing was what decided to shut down. It was just a matter. I'm guessing it was just a matter of time afterwards.
Right.
I tried to look at who owned them before. Let's see. Well,
So are they shut down, or are they going to shut down?
oh no, they're shut down. They're officially shut down by this point.
Okay, but their site still works?
I don't think so, but if anything,
I'm on there. Yeah, I'm on there right now. I was just curious, and I went to it.
if anything, I'm sure like all the normal videos are still on YouTube.
Oh, that makes sense too. Yeah.
Yeah, all of episodes of Pop Fiction, as far as I can tell, are on YouTube.
I was like, I have to watch some of these again. So I'm glad they haven't gotten rid of that yet.
I wonder what happened to the guy who did the voices for every single video in the existence of that website.
Right.
Yeah, he has a nice voice. I want to hear more of him.
I'm sure he'll find a pretty good job doing voice acting somehow, somewhere.
I want him to do more top 10s, but hey, he's a good voice to listen to.
Right.
Well, moving on from those sad news, let's go into good news about Nintendo, obviously. There was, a few months ago, the current president of Nintendo decided to do some restructuring in the company. Like, Miyamoto was given a different job, a creative fellow, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it just recently came out that the younger staff members are going to be given a more direct approach to the creation, to development. As in, like, they're gonna take a more active role, and they're gonna be placed in the spotlight. Basically, you're probably going to sit in more on Nintendo Directs and stuff like that.
Right.
They're trying to get them to create new things, like allow allow the consumer to know them, who they are.
I think it's a good idea, especially if you're letting the younger, the younger developers to take that active role. It'll let them give their personal input on what they think should be what should be out there now. We can't always have this old school mentality with everything. So I think it's a very good idea.
Mm-hmm. Because if I remember correctly, Miyamoto and Iwata were the ones who were in charge of that kind of thing.
Right, they were correct.
So now that they're gonna have their own roles, we're gonna see a lot of new things likely for the future.
I agree, and it's exciting to see Nintendo take a turn like that.
I say it's also a little bit scary. We don't.
It is. Yeah.
It's kind of a new thing, but we don't know what they're doing. They could also be doing a terrible thing. Though I really have hopes in Nintendo, and I know they've been doing this for a long time, so I'm sure they train them well.
Right, it becomes one of those double-edged swords. It might go really, really well, and then might go really, really bad. But we'll see. We'll see where they end up and how this goes.
Please don't bring that shit down.
No.
And on the last bit of news, because this is going to be a really short podcast, it involves that one game that you probably heard about, and every Let's Player ever is doing a Let's Play on it, Undertale. Mm-hmm. Apparently, well, this came out around a few days ago after we filmed our last podcast. Actually came out that same day that the Undertale developer, Toby Fox, he wants to get the game on a Nintendo console. Like, he wants to port it to other consoles, but he wants the Wii U. I guess because that's where he based the game from.
Right.
But he's having problems because of the way the game was made. I believe it was RPG Maker.
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember, but the thing is, like, he can't do it on his own. He doesn't know how to do it.
So he's just having problems with the port over technology, right? Because he has to port it over from one program over to another.
Yep.
There was I think there was another software developer that was having trouble doing that too. I just can't remember who it was. But yeah, that's. I hope he finds a way to do this, and I hope he finds a way to do it soon. Because if I can, as me and you have discussed, that's another game that I want to eventually try. And if I can eventually try it out on a Nintendo console, I'd rather do that instead.
Well, what's that Sonic game called? Like, well, not Sonic. It's that game that's based on Sonic, the one that came out on the Wii U recently. It has that purple cat and that green dragon.
Oh, I don't know the name of it. I know exactly what you're talking about though, but I don't know what it's called.
I know that it exists, so that's good enough.
You're right.
We know your existence. In any case, they actually been offered some hell by Broken Rules, which has ported like other games. I believe they ported Yooka-laylee. They ported what else? They actually ported that game I'm talking about, actually. They ported that.
You know what, I have that Yooka-laylee game and I haven't played it. I forgot about it altogether. You remember when they had that Humble Bundle, Nintendo, and that's when we bought it, but I totally forgot that I even had it. I should probably play it.
It's a really fun game.
I heard it is, yeah.
I was obsessed with that game for a whole week, and I finished it.
Cool.
Yeah, I give it a shot.
Yeah, it definitely will. I have it. I just forgot about it.
Just ignore the constant meme and that studio has on that game.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's reference and then there's Yooka-laylee. In any case, it's still fun, so give it a shot.
Yeah, definitely will.
And that's it for news, but we're going to move on to the releases. There's games that are coming out, and these are games that you probably want to play. So get your wallets ready, because there are quite a few for Nintendo, actually, just in this next week. First of all, it's not first of all, but I'm going to start with this one because it's the biggest one, which is Fire Emblem Fates, or Waifu Simulator, and everyone likes to call it nowadays. Which the both versions are going to come out Friday for $40, unless you live in Europe, in which case I don't know. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But this is the game where Corrin comes from, and now you'll finally be able to know who the hell Corrin is. You'll be able to learn his or her story, and well, honestly, Honestly, I haven't really been keeping up with this game because
Yeah.
the two versions. Well, to be fair, I wasn't really a big fan of Fire Emblem in general.
Mm-hmm.
Though I really want to try Awakening, but the two versions didn't kind of put me off this game.
Mm-hmm.
I actually heard that they're gonna release a full version later on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Again, I'm not sure if this is a official thing, but
Right.
if they do and have all three, because by the way, there's three parts in this game, not just two.
Mm-hmm.
So if they release the three together, I'll probably get it.
That's going to be interesting. As you know, I'm not a. Is this so? Because I haven't watched too much gameplay, or should I say any gameplay on this game whatsoever? Is this also a strategy RPG?
Yeah, it's basically Fire Emblem Awakening.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of strategy RPG fans, but I'm sure you'll be able to tell me a lot about it
If I get it, I tend to forget
if
these
you
things.
get it.
So, there was a bit of a controversy about this game a while ago. Again, I didn't really care, so I never really mentioned it. It was about the petting part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you touch the character on the touch screen.
Mm-hmm.
Though, like, you use a pin, you touched it, and the character acts like super embarrassed. So that was actually removed.
Oh, right. Yes, I heard about that.
Which honestly, they didn't actually remove it.
They just altered it, didn't they? Or they did some
They
kind of
they did
something
it.
to it?
They did it so you could only do it with the person your main character marries.
Ah, that's what it is. Okay.
You're gonna like not gonna like that's actually genius.
It really is.
Yes, because you could do it with every other character. Every single one of them. Though, if anything I had to say about that is that the art for the petting thing, like, it's actually amazing. Like, it looks good. Though, the petting minigame itself is weird and just honestly I feel it's unnecessary. But what do we know?
What do we know, right?
I'm a filthy gaijin. In any case, that's the game that's coming out. But there's another game coming out that same day, which I'm actually kind of sad it is. And it's Bayonetta 2, the one disc edition. No Bayonetta 1 for you, buy it online. It's going to come out for $30 and it's a good game, so go get it. No, seriously. It's just a
Mr. John here swears by that game,
yeah,
as you can tell.
it's a fun action game. It's an easier version of Devil May Cry. Because unlike Devil May Cry, you have a way to dodge things.
Mm-hmm.
So, just give it a shot. It's quite long. If you like, it's long. It can be as difficult as you want it to be. Well, once you finish it, it's around 8 hours long. So, I say it's worth the price.
Right. This is one of those games that me and you. Well, actually, I think I talked about it in one of the podcasts that I want to try. So eventually, I probably will go ahead and get. But I might as well just get both this. But even though you told me to start off with two, but because I've never played one either.
Well,
but do you recommend me starting with one or two?
No,
Does it matter?
well, I didn't tell you to start with one, but yeah, start with one. There's a PS3 360 versions of it, so just buy the PS3. Well, the PS3 version doesn't run quite as well. You got some performance issues. Though, since I didn't really play other versions, I didn't really notice it, and I had fun with it.
Okay.
So you can pick it up for like $5. So give it a shot.
Oh, will do.
Then the next game, which actually comes out Tuesday, is Project Cross Zone. I'm sorry, Project X Zone. I've been having that thing of cross in my mind for a while now, because that's what
Right.
Japan does.
Right.
Instead of saying X, saying cross, which sounds much fucking cooler. So I'm just gonna say Project Cross Zone. Sounds cooler. That's gonna be for $40. I said comes out Tuesday. It's gonna be the same ordeal. I don't know how long this game will be, which is apparently this game being too long was a problem for the original version, but you didn't have a problem, so
I loved it. I didn't care how long it was. It was actually better the longer that game lasted. But yeah, I'm excited for this game. I don't think I'm gonna buy it right quick, just because I don't want to set Final Fantasy aside yet. So I think I'm still gonna wait up on it, and eventually, when I grow tired of Final Fantasy, I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Just because I don't want to end up, no offense, but I don't want to end up like with a backlog like you did. So I rather just wait a little bit before I get it, and then I'll eventually get it when I'm done with my current games.
your lies did not face me, as I know you have a backlog just as big as mine.
I don't have a backlog. Don't get it right, John.
Wait, you don't?
No, I don't. Not anymore. I don't. No, not really. I guess if you want to count like Yooka-laylee being one of my backlog
Well,
ones, but that's
digital
about
games
it.
count.
Which one?
Digital games do count.
Oh, that's true, huh?
I'm pretty sure you have
I
a
have
ton of those.
I have a few of those, yeah. So you're right. I do have a few of those that I have to catch up to as well.
That's a moral victory for John. In any case,
He won.
in any case, there's a few other games, just Virtual Console and some eShop game. Wanted to put it in. What is Game Boy Advance? You have no idea what this game is. I know you don't. So I'm going to explain it to you right now.
Please do.
You're basically just this like line, just like in a rectangle. Like you just spin around pressing L and R.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going like through really tight spaces, but you spin left or right just to avoid touching the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sounds simplistic, and I'm pretty sure you can look it up a bit right now, but it's basically sort of a I don't want to say it's a puzzle game. It's a game that you have to reach the end,
Mm-hmm.
but things happen that make it difficult for you. It's apparently a really addicting game. I saw a few reviews. I never really picked up the game. I don't know. It didn't really catch my attention at first, but now that I see it on the Virtual Console, I think I might grab it.
So is it already out
Yeah, it came out
today?
of this recording yesterday.
Cool.
And this one called Music Burst Electronic Keyboard, which I'm pretty sure is exactly what it sounds like. And pretty sure
It is. I've actually seen a video on this.
I actually tried watching the video to try to explain everything, but the video wouldn't load, so I just went with it.
It's just literally a keyboard on your DS screen,
And I guess you
and
can...
and you record. Yeah, and you just record it, and then you just mash music together to make music.
That's simple enough.
Yep. Nothing too extraordinary about that you can't do with the programs on the computer. But I guess this is good if you want to make music on the go.
Yeah, it's $7. You can grab it. It's on the eShop. I believe it's in the 3DS actually.
It is 3DS. You're
Yeah.
correct.
And by the way, that Game Boy Advance Virtual Console game, it's on the Wii U only.
Yes, it is.
Because Nintendo doesn't believe in Game Boy Advance emulation on the GBA, on the 3DS.
No, not at all. Doesn't exist unless you were an ambassador.
Yeah, in which case you probably have those 10 games, and which are really fun. I can say for sure they're fun.
Yeah, I can say that too.
I'm sorry, but
Sorry, guys.
you should have gone early. In any case, I believe that's everything we got at the moment, but we're going to go on a break and we'll be right back with the topic. Today's topic is actually going to be Kickstarters. So, we'll see you after the break.
See you in a bit, guys.
So, welcome back, and today, as I mentioned before, the topic is Kickstarters. These things have been around for a few years, for only a few years actually, but they have been having quite some impact. They brought back games in a different way. They actually brought us sequels to games that we never thought we'd get.
Mm-hmm.
I say this is a good thing, but there can also be bad things about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about Son of N. The first one, which is I say the biggest one, having gained over $100 million at this point, because they've been getting more money via PayPal. Like they actually managed to get around $6 million
Mm-hmm.
on the original Kickstarter. Like they're in a crowdfunding, and they just got more and more. They got over 32,000 people to donate. So yeah, this is a huge gain. So if you don't live under a rock, because this is going to be a PC game, It's gonna be a first-person online. It's gonna be shooter. Like you're gonna be it's combat mining, exploring. You're actually gonna be able to pilot your own spaceship. And this game has been delayed so many times, and at this point, it's just a joke. I mean, it says it's going to be released in 2016, but I don't know. This is gonna be a weekend. This game has been around for, I think, 4 years at this point. Oh. So, have you seen anything about it?
And we are talking about Star Citizen right now, right?
Yes, Star Citizen.
Yeah. I looked up a video on it. I don't know why it's taking so long. Maybe it's just the developers are just having trouble doing a few things. But from the videos that I saw, the game looks really, really janky. And what I mean by that is that one of the developers was actually doing a playthrough video of the game. And I just saw so many problems with it. It's got some beautiful, beautiful cutscene, not cutscene, excuse me, beautiful images and beautiful graphics. But then, you know, and the developer sees it and he tries to ignore it because he knows he's being recorded or he's live on Twitch or whatever the case is. But maybe it's just they haven't gotten these kinks out. But after so many years, you think it would have been done by now, or it would have been a lot better than what it is right now. So that's what I think of the game. I'm not too impressed with it, to be honest with you. But I'm sure, you know, that's just my opinion. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are super excited for it and can't wait for the game to come out.
Well, it actually has. Well, again, this is just my own thoughts on it. It has a lot to do with. I'm guessing with the amount of money they got. They had a plan, but the plan kind of went down the crapper when they decided to just add more things. I remember this actually from. This is something that I know because of Rooster Teeth. If you know that channel,
I do.
Yes, so this one man by the name of Gus, which is Gus Sorolla, which is one of the men who created that website. He's one of the people who bought spaceships. Apparently, like you were able to buy spaceships for yourself. So just kind of letting you know how much money goes into this and like how people are really looking forward to it. Like he bought a spaceship for I believe $500, just a ship in the game.
Jeez.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things like this. They just be releasing things like that. I'm pretty sure that's just to cover more costs. But this is a big game, like big game that if it comes out this year, as they're saying, it's going to be either the best thing ever or it's going to be the worst disaster in Kickstarter history, which doesn't give us much hope. At least not a lot of the people who made this game.
Right. Yeah, I'm not putting my hopes up for it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I feel bad for the developers. I'm pretty sure that they're trying their best to do this.
Sure.
But sometimes trying's not enough, man.
Sometimes it's just not meant to work. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not too excited for it just because, like you said, it's been delayed how many times now? It's just like, whatever, man. Just let me know when you're done at this point, you know?
Yeah. This is actually one of the many reasons like Kickstarters are not quite as trusted nowadays. There are others like that, and which actually brings me to another one which has had issues, which is Mighty Number 9, getting around $3 million from the project, from the crowdfund loan. This was made by KG in a fund, you know, one of those people who work in the classic Mega Man. I mean, are you even a fan of Mega Man?
I am. I have played a few Mega Man games, so this is a good-looking game, and this one I do have high hopes on, and I hope that it does really well. But I mean, it's been delayed so many times as well that I'm just now waiting. It's one of those things again that just call me when you're done, man, and let me know it's done so I can buy it and try it out. But I'm not holding my breath on this one. I know it's gonna come out. It's a matter of time.
Yeah. So the history behind this game, at least from what I can gather, is that Capcom just pretty much left Mega Man after canceling around 5 games, including Mega Man Legends 3. Which by the way, I was actually excited. I was looking forward to that one.
I was as well. I remember playing. I played all the Mega Man Legends games as well before, and I I was really looking forward to this coming out on the 3DS. It was coming out on the 3DS, if I recall.
Yep, 3DS.
And once it got canceled, obviously there was a lot of uproar from all the fans out there, and Facebook project, I think Moon or something like that, was created, and
100,000 signatures for whatever.
something like that. And even with that being said, it still never happened. But I was very disappointed in that, and I mean, it's a big. Let's see what happens, you know.
What happens is that there was a huge Kickstarter. He ready to save Mega Man, and with my number 9. But of course, it's not not all roses smell or something like that.
Yeah, it's not Mega Man Legends. Let's just put it that way. It's
well, this is mostly based on the original Mega Man.
right.
But I mean, this game has had problems for a while now. If I remember correctly, this game was Kickstarted 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So 2016 now.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of see what the problem is there.
That every single good quote unquote good Kickstarter game takes 4 years to come out.
Well, I'm pretty sure not all of them. But it's just there's been issues like with the community managers. And have you heard of that?
No, actually.
There was a community manager which was not liking the way some people like were dealing with things. It was on the Twitter. It was like blocking people, not allowing them to post.
Really?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Jeez, such trivial stuff.
Yeah, trivial stuff, but enough that make people like not do it. Oh, by the way, it was 2013, so it's 3 years.
Oh, 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, so the game's been developing for a little over 2.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's also been problems with delays. That it's been delayed around 3 times, and the game itself apparently it doesn't look too good because the 3D it's in a 3D style. Have you seen footage of it?
I think if I recall, I think we talked about this on the last podcast, didn't we? About how it was delayed, and I think I said that I don't care how many times you delay it as long as it's a good game, you know.
Well, I mean, well, that's why I'm trying to put some focus. Like I said, there's been a lot of things like this. Like the game doesn't look good, community issues, delays. There's like so many things that. Because I actually want to bring something up. Do you remember Red Ash?
I don't. Oh, I heard about it, but no, I don't remember it that well.
Red Ash is the second Kickstarter that Inafune started. It was a project that was going to bring back the original, Mega Man Legends in another spiritual successor.
Mm-hmm.
Which was almost going to fail, but then they got funded by another company.
Oh.
And a lot of people actually didn't like that. Around $4,000 were taken out the moment that happened.
Jeez.
Yeah, so Inafune has not been a very trusting man.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it was probably timing issues, and sure, if it had been done, like later, it would have done well. But as you can see, but I'm pretty sure once the game comes out, it's going to be good, and everyone's going to forget, and everyone will love the game.
Yeah, I agree. Nobody's gonna remember.
Or they'll hate it, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see when we cross that bridge.
Another Kickstarter, which is much more recent, is of course Shenmue 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is that one game that was released back on the Dreamcast. It's the one game that began the usage of QuickTime events in combat. It was basically the story of this man whose father was killed, and he's setting up for revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically you kind of investigating around town, trying to find out what's going on. And there was 2 of these games. The original, again, Dreamcast, and then the second one on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally haven't played this game, but
No.
This is a huge cult classic. This is a lot of people had said it's one of the best games ever created, though. I'm inclined to disagree a bit after having seen enough gameplay and stuff like that.
Yeah, me too. Because don't get me wrong, the game, the PS4 version that I've seen, I think it's only going to be PS4 so far. But anyways, the version that I saw, I mean, everything looked beautiful. The trees, the water, the texture, everything about it looked beautiful. But then I saw the characters, and I'm like, how come that beauty has not been incorporated into the characters? And on top of that, it was just like an awkward dialogue scene to where it showed this girl running across some rocks, and she just says, "Follow me," and then they kind of just look over at the main character, and like 5 seconds later, okay, and I'm just like, what the hell was that?
Is that from the E3?
I think that was the E3 trailer, right?
Hmm. Well, well, this game had a lot of weird voice acting. I remember some of the weird lines they had, like, "I'm looking for some sailors." I'm pretty sure you heard of this before.
Yes, I have.
So yeah, he had a lot of weird issues like that. Voice acting being one of them, and it just like everything in general about the game, it was really weird. It felt really stiff, but it's what a lot of people like is that this was an experience. This was a different thing. This was something new. A lot of people bought a Dreamcast and played this game and loved it. So I can see why they were looking forward to this game. It helped that it was also shown on E3. This has never been done before for any sort of Kickstarter like this.
Right.
And it was actually followed suit by Psychonauts 2 in the Video Game Awards. So this set a precedent. In any case, like everything looked good, but then there was issues with how money was going to be. The creators saying that the only way they were gonna get the full experience was if they donated up to $10 million.
Right.
Yeah. And then they got funded by Sony. They got some money from Sony, which was never fully explained how that was going to be.
This is magic money.
Yeah, by the way, this happened after the Kickstarter was over. So as you can see, it's all a very weird, fussy, big problem.
Right.
Big problem. And so at this point, I don't think there's been any gameplay created. Then again, this is going to be a huge game. The Kickstarter page says the game is not going to be released till 2017, December. So you can make of that, it's going to be released 2018.
So it's still got a long time, a long way to go.
Yep, so you people better hope your money went to the right place.
Yep.
So let's move on from the bad, like the really weird Kickstarters that do the bad things that no one likes. Let's to the ones that people actually do that haven't had any real problems, which are I'm going to focus on two, which are more of spiritual successors. Yooka-laylee, the spiritual successor of Banjo-Kazooie, and Bloodstain, which is the spiritual successor of Castlevania. The Igavania, as it may. So, Yooka-laylee, it's going to be worked on by the people who made Banjo-Kazooie. Like,
that's
a lot of
exciting.
them.
Yeah, the Rare team is actually ex-Rare team members, if you will, are going to go ahead and do that. What's the name of their new company?
Playtonic Studios?
Yes, that's what it is. So, yeah, that's exciting. I'm actually really... I've played Banjo-Kazooie before, and I'm excited for that. So, that should be a pretty good Kickstarter game, and I think that's going to do very, very well.
I actually do too. I hope. And it comes out this year, actually.
It does. October, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep, on the Wii U as well, so I get to play it.
Yes, we do. I'm excited for that.
So me too. And then there's Bloodstain, which is... Did you ever see the Kickstarter video for Bloodstain?
No. What is it about?
Well, it has like Igarashi, the creator of... Well, the one who made the style. Like, standing like in this really gothic environment. Like, this man likes that stuff. And then the man, like... If I remember correctly, like at the end he turns into bats. And he just goes away at the end of the video.
That's it?
Well, he explains everything.
Oh, okay.
And whatnot. Yeah. And if I say anything, the only issue I can say this game has had is that they were hiding a lot of the stretch goals behind what they call just in case they didn't make enough money. Oh shit! What did I do? Okay, so in just case they didn't make enough money, I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's a little odd that they do that, but because then I don't know, when they do the stretch goals, it gives them that ability to, or gives the fans a chance to put more money towards something that they would be happy and interested in seeing. But if they're gonna hide it, then it's just we're just like so what's going on here? What's gonna happen
Like,
here if I donate my money? Do I get more of something or not?
well, honestly, this is more. I'm pretty sure that we're just trying to gain interest on it,
Mm-hmm.
which they did. I mean, this is not. This is really a non-issue. It's not. It's a non-issue. Like the Wii version was not going to be a thing,
Mm-hmm.
but now we're getting even that and a 3DS version for whatever reason. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I enjoy the Castlevania games made by him.
Yeah, exactly. So it should be a pretty good game.
Both of these games are going to be really good games, and I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah.
It's just exciting that we finally get to see, like, even if they're a bit different, like the original intent are still behind them.
Exactly. Well said. Exactly.
And I mean, that's not the only Kickstarter that's been around. Like, there's other projects which are smaller. Shantae, the half-genie hero. I actually wrote the wrong thing here. Bad John. In any case, this game actually came out a few days after Mighty Number 9 did, so...
Oh, I remember that. You're right. I remember when the Kickstarter was introduced, and a few days later, I remember Shantae being introduced as well.
Yeah, I'm guessing there were time for that day, for around those, and, well, they got screwed really badly. They almost didn't make it. Like, they barely reached they barely reached the goal.
I think it's because a lot of people were really concentrated on Mighty 9 at that point, too.
Yes, yeah, because it was gonna be a new game. It's
Yeah.
gonna be the brand new Mega Man. It's the one that's going to save the mans.
Yeah, it's like pretty much releasing. Obviously right now Star Wars came out in December, and then it was like Star Wars and then some other really good movie. But obviously we know Star Wars is going to go ahead and do a lot better than another movie.
Prequel.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my God, that's not even you can't put Shantae on that level. That's why I didn't even want to go there. But yeah, it's just like,
I was just like, I love Shantae, but I was just trying to
give an example. Yeah. That's basically the best way to say it. But you can't do that. You can't go up against a major, hit like that and then just say, oh, well, just go ahead and release it. If anything, if I were them, I would have probably delayed my Kickstarter until Mighty 9 was over. But I'm glad they made it, though. Don't get me wrong.
Me too. Though they haven't released their game either, so they are on their own issue. Yeah. But
We'll see. They'll do
they
good.
haven't gotten nearly as much flack because of Mighty Number 9. Thank you, Mighty Number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for taking all of the flack from them.
Thank you for that.
Another Kickstarter is Undertale, which, yeah, that was a Kickstarter game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and it didn't get quite as much money. It actually was going to the creator was planning to make a new game and a comic series if they got enough money. He didn't really, but he's still planning to make, I believe, a sequel or successor for it.
Something like that.
Yeah, but like, imagine this game was a Kickstarter game. If it wasn't made any other way, it would have never been created, likely.
Nope. Well, same like with Shovel Knight. Wasn't Shovel Knight a Kickstarter?
Yep, it was a Kickstarter game.
Yeah,
made.
So all those games.
Yeah, and then other games like Skullgirls.
Yes, Skullgirls as well.
Yeah, Skullgirls by Lab Zero, which is this really fun fighting game, which introduces new mechanics. Again, I'm not quite as big into it, but it's a fun game still.
Yeah.
And yeah, and there's this one Kickstarter that I actually donated to called Dance Fight in Hearst, which is basically animals kicking the crap out of each other. And they just introduced basically a dynamic music system which changes when the battle is going, which actually sounds pretty interesting. So I'm really looking forward to that game. Oh, please don't make my $100 be in vain.
Holy crap!
Yes, I donated $100 for this game. I want cute animals beating the crap out of each other.
Whoa! I didn't even think you. I didn't know you did that. That's crazy, but cool.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see, you pay for what you get.
Yep.
So, I wanted to bring this topic up because it's it's a thing that's so these projects are a very prominent part nowadays. Like we see a lot of Kickstarters. Like you don't really see them on the surface, but they're happening. They're happening a lot.
Right.
A lot of games are being kickstarted, and we're going to get a lot of excellent new games, like new IPs.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to provide some more focus on these games and like newer things.
Yeah, I think that was a great idea. Absolutely.
Though it was really hard to talk about it because apparently you didn't really know much about this, huh?
I didn't know a lot about a few of them. I did know mostly about yooka-laylee, and then I also did know obviously about Mighty 89, Shovel Knight, Undertale, even though I haven't played Undertale, but stuff like that I did. But Star Citizen, I really didn't know much about, and also Shenmue 3, I didn't know much about that. But yeah, I knew a little bit about them. I'm just not that interested in them unless, there's a lot of big talk about it.
Mm-hmm. But use these games that we're going to be getting in the future. And I'm actually looking forward for more Kickstarters to see what we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
The world is changing and Kickstarter is a big part of it.
It sure is.
So is Indiegogo actually, but let's not get off topic in case. Well, I'm going to get off topic now because that's today's podcast.
That's all.
Yep. So, if I'm going to end this, is going to be careful with what you pay. Kickstarters are they're a really flimsy thing. If you pay for them, you run a risk. You're making a decision to get money to something that you have no idea what's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't pay off, you just lost $100 and then you cry yourself to sleep.
Which hopefully John will not be doing.
I believe in those animals. In any case, this has been John S. and Eric, and we will see you next time.
Bye guys, see you next time.